Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. There are currently 411 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Poland, 33 more than yesterday. 5 people have died, including a 27-year-old woman infected with the virus who died this morning in hospital in Wansut. However, according to the hospital, the direct cause of her death was sepsis. The government crisis management team met today in connection with the epidemiological state of emergency. Given the grave situation in the country, the President Andrzej Duda also delivered a speech.
Bilans, myślę, że będzie z dnia na dzień coraz większy, że tych...
I think that the number of those infected will be growing rapidly day by day. So far, people who travel abroad have been confirmed with the virus, and now there are many cases from inside of the country. I would like to appeal to everyone for the 100th or even the 1000th time. Please stay at home. Let's not leave home. It is the cheapest, but at the same time the most effective method to avoid infection. Many countries have introduced this method. This morning, the governor of California ordered everyone not to leave their houses. This method is the most recommended and the most effective.
To jest jak najbardziej polecana I najbardziej skuteczna.
In an interview for CNN, an American news-based television channel, Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki announced that the closing of Poland's borders, as well as other restrictions introduced by the government, are part of the plan to protect the country from what he described as an Italian scenario.
Unfortunately, I think that the peak is still ahead of us and we will have several thousand, if not more, of the cases. This is a real earthquake also for our economy. Right now we're fighting with the coronavirus pandemic from the point of view of our healthcare system and not letting new cases into Poland. This is why we have introduced as the first country in Europe so-called sanitary border controls, and they have helped us to slow down the inflow of new cases into Poland. This is why we have introduced a very bold plan, a very effective and important one. It's a plan of a size similar to 10% of our GDP, close to 10% of our GDP, and it includes a safety net for workers. And yes, exactly as you said, up to 40% of a salary of an employee will be reimbursed, remunerated by the state budget, because we believe that it is much better to save the working places throughout the next couple of weeks, and at the same time to preserve the capacity of the companies to bounce back once the crisis is slowing down.
Małgorzata Kidawa-Błońska, Civic Platform candidate to be the President of Poland, has once again spoken out in favour of postponing the presidential election. She represents the largest opposition party and is a likely candidate should the election go to a second round if President Duda does not win a majority of votes in the first round, currently to be held on the 10th of May.
Rząd Prawa I Sprawiedliwości jest zdeterminowany, żeby...
The Law and Justice government is determined to hold these elections on the previously announced date. However, I do not know how they can ensure the presence of the people needed in the Election Commission, how they imagine organising all this, since they now expect Poles to limit their activities and sit at home. We know that the peak of the epidemic, the toughest moment, is still ahead of us, so it is very irresponsible to say that the elections can take place on the 10th of May.
10 maja.
A Turkish-born man who shot 3 people dead and wounded 5 others on a Utrecht tram in the Netherlands last year has been sentenced to life in prison today by a Dutch court for what judges ruled was a terrorist attack.
Turkish-born Governement Tanis, 38, had shown no remorse and was fully responsible for his actions, despite having low intelligence and a personality disorder, the judges said. The attack by Tanis on 18th March 2019 came just days after a lone gunman killed 50 people in mass shootings at 2 mosques in Christchurch in New Zealand. Tanis, a resident of the Netherlands since 1993, did not know his victims, who ranged in age from 19 to 74. He had tried to justify his actions afterwards by saying that it was us against you, us Muslims against you Democrats, the judge said in the ruling. Tanis had used the term Democrats to describe Dutch people or non-Muslims. Tanis had yelled, cursed, spat at judges and taunted his victims' family members during his trial, but he did not answer questions put to him by the judges and the victims' families in an intelligible way. His lawyer had acknowledged Tanis was culpable, but had argued that he should not be sentenced to life in prison given his reduced mental capacity.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.